Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. This is Joel Perez here for your Monday Night Raw review. Yes, for the date of December 25th, 2017. It is Christmas Day, ladies and gentlemen. WWE did have the audacity to put on a live show here tonight, so I must wish you all Merry Christmas from the confines of my home here tonight, as we were all sitting here watching another particularly awful edition of Monday Night Raw, and WWE had no issue with putting on an awful edition of Monday Night Raw here tonight. There were multiple times in the show where you could clearly tell these people did not give a single crap about what they were putting on our televisions here tonight, and that's exactly how I felt about this show here tonight. I did not give a single crap, and I think a lot of you guys can agree with me when I tell you that much about this show. Despite that, there was an Intercontinental Championship match on this show here tonight. Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe, and a Tag Team Championship matchup between Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins and Sheamus and Cesaro, which makes me wonder if these matches were going to be on this show here tonight, why the hell weren't they advertised for Monday Night Raw a week in advance? I mean, nobody wants to tune into a show on Christmas anyways. Why not actually do something smart and give people incentive to watch this show? Why not say, we're going to have a blockbuster Monday Night Raw next week. On top of getting John Cena, you're going to get an Intercontinental Championship and a Tag Team Championship match here tonight. And matter of fact, if you would have been smart, you would have had a Women's Championship match here tonight. Because when the hell was the last time that Women's Championship around Alexa Bliss's waist was actually defended? But of course, Monday Night Raw here tonight, WWE did not have the brain to do any of that. They put their worst foot forward here tonight, I guess is the best way to put it. And here tonight we saw nothing special, and that was to be expected for a holiday edition of Raw. This show was garbage, but the show was garbage every week, so realistically, what can I tell you, bro? What can I tell you? Anyways, the biggest thing that happened on this show here tonight was, of course, the changing of the hands of the Tag Team Championships, and clearly there were complaints to be had. I mean, why the hell did Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins win the Tag Team Championships? What sense does that make, that they can beat the Bar when earlier in the night they couldn't even agree on what their favorite color was? Yet, here they are winning the Tag Team Championships. It kind of just doesn't mix with me, but clearly it was done to give this Dean Ambrose heel turn some wheels, and I'm expecting that Dean Ambrose, with what they did here tonight, this is just me putting two and two together and saying, alright, if they're doing this, it's to give the Dean Ambrose heel turn some wheels. It's to give Dean Ambrose some incentive, correct? Because it's the only thing that realistically makes sense. But then again, with what we see on WWE television each and every single week, is logic really the best way to go about things? I don't even know at this point. I really don't know at this point, but that, of course, is besides the point. We will go more into detail on what happened there later in this review, but of course, before we do get into this official Monday Night Raw review, make sure to go check out all the other content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, there's so much other content to go check out. Monday Night Raw and Smackdown reviews clearly each and every single week. After these shows go off the air, your Raw and Smackdown reviews for last week are in the subscription boxes and in the description down below as well. So if you did miss those reviews, make sure to go check that out as well. And this is a video I highly recommend you guys go check out. Top 10 Superstars of the Year. I promise you guys, top 10s coming, and we got the first one down. Next one's probably going to come on Wednesday because I don't want to do it on Monday and Tuesday where we're doing Raw and Smackdown reviews. But the next one's probably going to come on Wednesday, and I might do 3 gathered together Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, or I might just do 1 Wednesday and then 1 Friday. But I am guaranteeing you guys 2 top 10s this week. So make sure, I highly recommend you guys make sure to go check out the top 10 superstars of 2017. Had a lot of fun making that video. Requires a little bit more editing than these videos usually do have. These videos are usually unscripted, my opinion, reviews, if I can speak here, reviews on what we've seen on Raw or SmackDown, or on news, like what you see on Behind the Mic each and every single weekend. That's a little bit more scripted, a little bit more editing in there, so we got that on the top 10 superstars of 2017. Make sure to go check that out. The next video is probably going to be the top 10 worst superstars of 2017, and then we will go on to our top 10 matches of the year, probably on Friday. So there you go with that. The one clearly that I'm looking most forward to is top 10 matches of the year. So the first top 10 is up. Make sure to go check that one out as a little bit of a sample as to what is coming for your end of the year top 10s, and of course what you've seen on the weekend. On Sunday we uploaded Behind the Mic episode number 50, and that just goes to show you how dedicated we are to this 50 episodes of Behind the Mic, locked and loaded. So make sure to go check out Behind the Mic episode number 50, where we are talking about several news stories, like the return of Rey Mysterio, which was the top news story. Vince McMahon investing $100 million into the XFL, or Alpha Entertainment, and he sold $100 million worth of WWE's stock. So there's that. And of course, we had news on Daniel Bryan and his retirement being inevitable. Make sure to go check out Behind the Mic for the full details on that and my opinion on those news stories. Of course, if you like what you hear here, make sure to subscribe to the Ringside Wrestling channel. Like I always say, if you have not subscribed yet, I do not know what you are waiting for. Of course, make sure to like this video. And the question of the day is who you think is going to be the Royal Rumble Iron Man. Now, clearly there's multiple selections for this. There's always some guy who lasts a long time in the Royal Rumble every single year. I believe last year it was Chris Jericho, and he even used that as a gimmick. Tried to get that over the 61-minute man. Who do you think is going to be the Royal Rumble Iron Man this year? I heard some people talking about it on Twitter. Some people were saying Elias. I think it could be a Samoa Joe type name like that. Maybe Seth Rollins, who's been in good stuff all year. Who do you guys think is going to be the Royal Rumble's Iron Man? That is your question of the day. It will be in the comment section below. So if you want to go answer that while you're watching this video, make sure to go do so. Because for now, we're going straight into the Monday Night Raw review. And Monday Night Raw was unfortunately live here tonight from Chicago, Illinois. And I say unfortunately live because, I mean, think of all the families of these wrestlers, or like WWE likes to call them, superstars. Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, Matt Hardy, Bray Wyatt, all these guys, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, they have families that they want to go home to. All these top stars, they have families that they want to go home to, and they're forced to come to Monday Night Raw here tonight and perform live on Christmas Day. It's just not right. It really is not. WWE realistically should have taken Saturday, or maybe even yesterday, but then again it was Christmas Eve. But WWE, if you ask me, should have taken Saturday as a day to record Raw, tape Raw from Chicago, and then air it live tonight on Monday Night Raw. Spoilers or not, it does not matter. That's what you should have done. They failed to do that, and it was a live show here tonight. Did that make this show any better? No, it did not. Was the Chicago crowd awesome here tonight? Yes, of course they were. It's goddamn Chicago. They will not disappoint. But does that excuse WWE's actions? No, it does not. It does not excuse WWE's actions. These superstars should have been unleashed to go home to their families and enjoy Christmas, which is one of the major holidays. And the crazy thing is as well that they're going to be forced to go live on, I believe, New Year's Day as well. Monday Night Raw next week is on New Year's Day as well. So it's absolutely ridiculous, but that's not what I'm here to talk about, is it now? I'm here to talk about what happened on Monday Night Raw here tonight. And like I said at the beginning of the video, of course, nothing good happened on Monday Night Raw here tonight. But, of course, John Cena did start off the show, and he actually started it off against Elias. So there was that, and also the first hour of Monday Night Raw here tonight was no commercials. That's USA's gift to everybody spending their Christmas at home watching Raw. They have no commercials for the first hour. I wish it would have been like that the whole show. But then again, commercials, they give you a break from this nonsensical garbage. So I'd rather have commercials most of the time. And the matches that they did put on with no commercials, they were mostly rubbish. But tonight's Christmas edition of Raw opens live from the Allstate Arena near Chicago as free agent John Cena returns, and he made his way out to the ring to a pop. Michael Cole welcomed us, and I chuckled at the jokes this week where they were like, I hope you get Adam Cole instead of Michael Cole. That was funny. That was funny, but he was joined by Corey Graves and, of course, Booker T, and Cole reminded us that the first hour of Raw would be commercial-free. Cena took the mic, and he says he wants to fix something he saw in the crowd. A younger fan was wearing the older Cena merchandise, and he was clearly one of the Make-A-Wish kids. And he said that the kid's merchandise was the wrong color. He was wearing the orange and blue. So John Cena gave him his shirt and he gave him his hat. That was very honorable of John Cena. And it was heartwarming. It was heartwarming to start off the show. Good stuff right there. So he gave him his merchandise. So Cena, he wishes a Merry Christmas to the fans in Chicago. Fans chant Merry Christmas. And Cena says that's the first time we've heard that chant, as this is the first time Raw has been live on Christmas. Cena loves the holidays because it's all about togetherness, and everywhere he goes, he talks about how WWE and the fans are his family. Cena says cheers to the good times and to looking out and seeing all of us together. Cena couldn't think of a better place right now to tell you. The music interrupts, and out came Elias. Who wants to walk with Elias? That was absolutely fantastic that Elias came out. I love the fact that he was working with John Cena. It really gives him more of a presence. Elias hits the ring and talks about how he's tired of getting interrupted as of late. And of course, the fans interrupt with a loud CM Punk chant. And Elias says Punk damn sure won't be interrupting him tonight. That was a good one. I like when the wrestlers come up with creative ways to get rid of the CM Punk chants. Didn't get rid of them. Chicago was quite rowdy here tonight, but that was pretty funny by Elias. Cena says it's Christmas and Chicagoans, or I don't even know. They love their fellow Chicagoan, so it's alright. Let them have some fun. By the way, while Elias was walking to the ring, he says WWE stands for Walk with Elias. That was a pretty good one. That one made me laugh out loud. I'll give you that one. Elias says he's going to perform tonight. The CM Punk chants interrupt again. Cena welcomes Elias to Chicago. Elias says he's going to perform no matter how often they want to chant that, and he's going to perform without interruptions. It looks like Cena is trying to interrupt Elias, but he just wants to hand him a stool. Elias takes a seat, and the spotlight drops on him. Cena watches as Elias begins his song. Fans chant for Punk again. Elias starts in with a Christmas song, but he starts knocking Chicago, and Cena interrupts him because he started dissing the people of the city. Cena says Elias actually plays pretty good, but he always gets to a point where he calls the people in the crowd jerks. Elias makes his case, but Cena says, no, you're being the jerk. Elias says he never thought of it that way, but it is Christmas, and maybe Cena is right. Maybe he is the jerk. Elias says he would love to do that song again if Chicago will give him a second chance. Chicago doesn't want to, but Cena calls them a very tough city, and it's Christmas, so go ahead. Elias starts the song. Fans boo again. Elias sings some props about Chicago now and tells Cena to finish the song with some Christmas spirit. Cena starts singing, but Elias hits him with a knuckle sandwich. Elias says he doesn't play for Cena or the fans. Elias says Christmas is overrated and so is Chicago. They boo again. Elias goes to leave, but turns back around and keeps beating the crap out of Cena. Elias says Santa Claus didn't visit him this morning, so he's going to give himself the gift of challenging Cena right now. Elias calls for a referee while Cena is down on the mat. So this match happened, and I mean, realistically, this was a decent match, but a clear example that John Cena is no in-ring general. For all those people who are like, how can you say John Cena is not an in-ring general? Here tonight, he proved that. I mean, Elias had control for about 80% of the match, and it was pretty boring. I mean, he hit some nice moves. He hit a beautiful spin-out, sit-out powerbomb from the electric chair position. But besides that, it was just a typical John Cena match. In the end, it was Cena get his comeback moves, the 5-knuckle shuffle, and no counter to the AA. He just hits an AA, and it's over, just like that. Like the typical Roman Reigns Intercontinental title defense, what do you say? Right? So that was the match pretty much. Elias looked good. He looked good, no doubt about it. He was hanging in there with John Cena. He was in the ring with John Cena. That's not a bad rub for Elias to get. But was this a good matchup? Could they have done better? They could have definitely done better. Again, this is WWE, I feel, being lazy because it's Christmas. And realistically, they should have put on a better match than this. But that's besides the point. That was what we saw to open the show. Good for Elias. Not very good match. That's all I got to say about that. But Kurt Angle was putting the final touches upon a Christmas tree. Because, of course, when Jason Jordan walked in to a barrage of boos from the crowd, by the way, with Seth Rollins walking in as well, that started an argument over who gets to face Samoa Joe, with Angle saying that every time they try to get their hands on Samoa Joe, the Bar interrupts. So they will team together to face the Bar with Jason Jordan, saying that he just got out of a tag team on Smackdown Live and he came to Raw to focus on his singles career. Rollins, he got pissed off that Jason Jordan considered teaming with him a downgrade. Angle says that when they get on the same page, they will be unstoppable, and they better, because the match tonight is for the tag team titles. These two guys have never teamed together. Now, what have they done to declare themselves number one contenders for the tag team championships? I'll tell you what they've done. There's no other goddamn teams on Monday Night Raw's tag team division. So, I mean, that's all the sense that it's supposed to make, I guess. So there you go with that one. But Roman Reigns, he came in with Angle telling him that Joe is all his tonight and that it is for the Intercontinental title. So there you go with that one. The announcers send us to Charlie Caruso in the ring with Brian Kendrick and Jack Gallagher. She asks about Kendrick's match with Hideo Itami tonight, and Kendrick mocks Charlie and says that he and Gallagher wanted to find out if Itami really belonged here or if he's just another passing fad. The music interrupts and out comes Itami for his second Red Brand match since being called up. So it's Brian Kendrick versus Hideo Itami, and this matchup realistically was nothing interesting. It was just an okay match that was really positioned here to debut Hideo Itami as a cruiserweight competitor. He hit the GTS, and that got a nice pop, but besides that, the crowd really didn't even give a crap about this matchup. And I'll tell you why. We have not seen Brian Kendrick on WWE television in God knows how long. Probably nobody there knew who the hell this guy was. And, I mean, it's Chicago, so yeah, maybe some people did, but at this point, who gives a crap about Brian Kendrick? Hideo Itami, even in NXT, he really didn't have too much steam behind him. So, getting called up, the GTS is all that got that nice pop, and it was over. So there you go with that one. Let's hope WWE can build Hideo Itami back to something that somebody actually gives a crap about, because even right now, I don't give that much of a crap about Hideo Itami. I'll be honest with you there. Will WWE do a good job at building this guy back up? I doubt it. He's in the Cruiserweight division. What has WWE done with the Cruiserweight division? They were in the Christmas Street Fight type match here tonight with the Cruiserweights. Gotta be kidding me, bro. Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Mickie James are backstage walking when they see Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel dressed in ugly Christmas sweaters. They wish them a Merry Mizmas and start singing Christmas carols about how awesome The Miz is and how they miss him. Sasha, Mickey, and Bayley don't know what to say, but they head to the ring for a match. Instead of having these guys dressed up in Christmas costumes and losing to Finn Balor and Hideo Itami, why not actually portray these guys while The Miz is gone as a legitimate tag team in the tag team division where you literally have no tag teams? Why don't you have these guys in competitive matches with Rhino and Heath Slater, with The Revival, with Gallows and Anderson? Why don't you go trying to build some semblance of an actual tag team division instead of making it two teams with some combination of Seth Rollins and whoever the hell it is, and Cesaro and Sheamus going back and forth each and every single week? Why don't you get creative with it? Why don't you make Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil tag team? You got, of course, Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. You got Gallows and Anderson. You got The Revival. You got Rhino and Heath Slater. That's 5 teams right there that should be trading some type of goddamn wins over each other, or that should be trading some type of storyline and momentum between each other. Instead, you are focusing on 2 teams when realistically you have a tag team division there that's really non-existent right now that you could build from the ground up. You could give these guys television time. You have 3 hours to present these guys on Monday Night Raw, yet you have the Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews with Dana Brooke in backstage segments that nobody gives a single crap about. You have got to be kidding me. Titus Worldwide is a completely garbage idea. Portray these guys as a tag team. Have them be a legitimate threat in the tag team division. This is what you're doing with these guys? You have got to be kidding me. You really, really do. My lord. Some creativity these WWE writers have, huh? Mickie James, Bayley, and Sasha Banks versus Paige, Sonya Deville, and Mandy Rose. This was 6-man tag rubbish. I mean, this was so mediocre. It all broke down, and Paige hit the rampage on Bayley, who was actually very over in Chicago. So how does WWE respond to Bayley getting an amazing reaction in Chicago? Oh yeah, she takes the pin. She takes the pin. Anyways, like I said, nobody gives a crap about this Women's Royal Rumble. How can you possibly care? It's all WWE throwing Women's Revolution and all these key phrases into our mouths. I mean, who can possibly care about this, bro? It's WWE pushing an agenda over pushing an actual championship feud, over pushing actual storyline. Why am I not seeing a feud between Bayley and Sasha Banks relived from NXT on the main roster? Why am I not seeing some tension between Alexa Bliss and Absolution? Instead, I have to see all these women who supposedly one week hate each other holding hands in the middle of the ring on Monday Night Raw just so WWE can get that nice visual on your screen. It's garbage. It really, really is garbage. This women's division is in shambles right now. It really, really is. WWE should be doing something so much better with these women. The way they'd actually be able to make history is by putting on some good storyline. Why was Lita and Trish Stratus so historic? Because they were putting on good storyline in a time where the women had none of that. Why don't you try doing that again now? I'm sure a lot of more people would be so excited to watch these women if you were actually presenting them in feuds and matches instead of 6-man tags and factions that have nothing to do with each other. It's ridiculous. I want to see actually focus on a championship, not on the idea that these women are making some type of history when it's all forced corporate agenda garbage. And I think a lot of you can agree with me on what I just said right there. That's pretty much the reason I do not like this Women's Royal Rumble myself. So there you go with that one. We move on here to Renee Young, who is backstage with Mojo. Mojo is clearly fantastic on the microphone. Everything he does, so much intensity behind it. She asks if he has any remorse for what he did to Ambrose last week. Absolutely not. Joe says that there's silver lining as now Ambrose can be at home with his loved ones for the holidays, smiling at Renee, clearly knowing that Renee is the loved one of Dean Ambrose. But Joe says that this also provided him with the title shot. He's been systematically taking out the Shield, and now Roman Reigns is coming for vengeance. Joe goes on about putting Reigns to sleep tonight and says he will become the new Intercontinental Champion. Kane versus Heath Slater. So, alright. Kane is going into a matchup with Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble. How can we make Kane look like a monster? Why not put him against Heath Slater, who hasn't been on Raw in God knows how long? Great idea. Put that on Raw. Who comes up with this garbage, bro? And the idea around this is that Rhino wants to make Heath Slater tougher. Why not actually put Rhino in there with Kane and give us a matchup that can maybe actually be a threat to Kane? Heath Slater is no threat to Kane. He destroyed Heath Slater in this matchup. Chokeslam, it's over. Bye-bye. And after the match, Rhino took a chokeslam of his own. So there you go. I can probably see Kane versus Rhino next week on Monday Night Raw. My God. And by the way, they announced Brock Lesnar will be on Raw next week. What business does Brock Lesnar have being on Raw next week? Oh, we go to... we come back from a break and Curt Hawkins is in the ring. He says usually he'd be out here telling us to face the facts, but he's telling himself that tonight. He says he's the first to admit that 2017 hasn't been good to his win-loss record, but the year isn't over. He says the year isn't over yet, and he feels a Christmas miracle coming tonight. Hawkins issues an open challenge and says he has 2 lumps of coal for whoever wants to come down his chimney into his living room. Hawkins says the 146 match losing streak comes to an end tonight. The music hits and out comes Finn Balor to a huge pop. It is Finn Balor versus Curt Hawkins, and this was a rubbish squash match. Why is Finn Balor, of all people, why does this guy have no direction going into the Royal Rumble? If there's somebody who needs to be an Iron Man in the Royal Rumble match, it is most certainly Finn Balor. This guy needs some type of momentum under his belt. I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous that this guy has been in matches with guys like Curt Hawkins, with guys like Curtis Axel, with guys like Bo Dallas over the past couple weeks, bro. It is. Get him in a feud with somebody, bro. Somebody. He needs a feud, and right now you have this guy in mid-card purgatory. It is embarrassing. Holy crap. Back from break, we see Axel and Dallas backstage, and once again, you know what I would do with these guys. They're still trying to spread Miz cheer. They approach Goldust and start singing a Christmas carol about how his career has lost some steam. They present him with a DVD of Santa's Little Helper, starring The Miz and Paige. They say he'll love it, then walk off. We then go to Titus Worldwide. Dana Brooke, Titus O'Neil, and Apollo Crews walk up, and Goldust gives Titus the DVD. The segment ends with Goldust reappearing to knock the DVD to the floor. This is the type of content we get on Monday Night Raw. Absolutely amazing. Really, really is. We cut backstage to see Bray Wyatt. Finally, we got something new here. And it's Bray Wyatt. He talks about how and why Sister Abigail hated this time of the year. One reason is because it reminded her of people like Matt Hardy. Wyatt accuses Hardy of using people for his own personal gain. Wyatt addresses Matt's Woken Warriors and says they are all surrounded by darkness. By Wyatt's fireflies. By her. Wyatt tells Chicago that he is here, blows the lantern, and he comes to the ring, which absolutely excited me because I thought that was going to mean we were going to see Woken Matt Hardy make his entrance for the first time on Monday Night Raw, but we did see Matt Hardy in the arena here tonight. He was in full Woken attire. We saw him live in the arena, and he attacked Bray Wyatt, started hitting him with multiple right hands, tried to hit the Twist of Fate, but Bray Wyatt rolled out of the ring just in time, started chanting delete. Fans started chanting delete. Chicago was going crazy with the delete chants here tonight. And Matt takes the microphone and starts, of course, laughing into the microphone. And then the Woken text flashes on the screen as we go to the next segment. So clearly they are advancing with this slowly but surely. I'm thinking it's going to result in a matchup at the Royal Rumble between these two guys. What we've seen has been very, very good so far. They haven't done anything bad as of yet, but realistically, what I'm waiting to see is Matt Hardy make an entrance on Monday Night Raw. I want to see him in a match as Woken Matt Hardy. I want to see the mannerisms he will make inside of a match. I want to see what's going on with that, because we've seen him cut the promo. We've seen him do all the gestures now. We've seen that for the past 3 weeks. Now he got an attack in. I want to see what he's going to be doing in a match. Hopefully they will have him in some type of match next week on Monday Night Raw. And hopefully we do see that entrance, because that's what I want to see. But then again, it would be sweet if they saved that moment for the Royal Rumble. So I don't know, but that was probably the most exciting thing that happened here on Monday Night Raw, because realistically, nothing else that happened on this show even came close to the excitement that you felt with seeing Matt Hardy on your television screen here tonight. And that just goes to show you how great the Woken/broken gimmick is. The Bar is backstage. We hear fans in the arena chanting for Matt Hardy because it was right after that segment. Sheamus presents Cesaro with a Christmas present, but tells him to open the card first. We hear fans chanting delete. In the arena, Sheamus's card says they don't just set the bar, they are the bar. Good for them. The present is a Dean Ambrose action figure who's missing an arm, clearly, because Dean Ambrose has a shoulder or arm injury, I should say. The gift giving continues with figures of Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan. That's what Cesaro gives to Sheamus, or Sheamus gives to Cesaro, I should say. They joke about how Sheamus doesn't want the Jordan figure, but Angle doesn't even want Jordan as his son, and Rollins doesn't want Jordan as his partner. Ha 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 ha. Right? The Cruiserweights were in a Miracle on 34th Street match. Should I even address this? I don't think so. I certainly don't think so. Let's move on here. Back from the break, Enzo Amore is walking backstage when Nia Jax appears and asks him how he's doing. Enzo asks how she's doing and wishes her a Merry Christmas, saying it's been a rough day. We see that they're standing under the mistletoe now. They smile as the crowd cheers. They go to kiss, but Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss gets in the middle of them, saying she needs to talk to Nia about the Women's Royal Rumble match. Jax leaves with Bliss, and Enzo isn't happy. We did not see Nia Jax for the rest of the show, so apparently Alexa Bliss was just trying to be a cock block. I don't know. Renee Young was backstage with Roman Reigns asking about Samoa Joe's comments on taking his title and systematically destroying the Shield. Roman doesn't care about what Joe says, but he's leaving Chicago with the title tonight. Reigns says tonight is all about Dean Ambrose, because if you hurt one of his brothers, he will hurt you. Reigns wishes Renee a Merry Christmas and walks off. So we go to Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe. Alright, let's do it. Intercontinental title match. And this matchup ended in DQ, and I hate when they do this. This matchup ended in DQ because Roman Reigns was kicking too much ass. It's such a bullshit way to end the matchup. It really, really is. So he starts beating the crap out of Samoa Joe, hits him with steel steps, trying to injure the arm of Samoa Joe, and he grabs a chair, and I don't think he hit him with the chair, and we go to Seth Rollins, who's smiling at that. So there you go. This probably means they're going to face at the Royal Rumble. Good. Hopefully when they do face at the Royal Rumble, Samoa Joe wins the Intercontinental Championship, because there's no goddamn reason to have Roman Reigns retaining that Intercontinental Championship and going into WrestleMania with it. That is the last thing I want to see. Samoa Joe can do a lot better for that title than what Roman Reigns is doing with it, because what Roman Reigns is doing with it is he's coming out having the same type of match every single week, and it's quickly getting stale. It really, really is. We see Seth Rollins backstage watching Reigns versus Joe when Jason Jordan walks up. Rollins says he's doing this match for 2 reasons. He owed Kurt Angle a favor and he wants a piece of the bar. Rollins goes on and Jordan says Rollins must admit that he makes a good replacement for Dean Ambrose. Jason Jordan must be a real idiot. Rollins wants to make one thing perfectly clear. As good as Jordan thinks he is, he will never be Dean Ambrose. Jordan says Rollins is right. He will be better. Alright, whatever. We go to a 2-on-1 handicap match. It was Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel versus Braun Strowman. Do I even need to tell you what happened here tonight? Once again, same thing with Kane. Braun Strowman is going into a championship match against Brock Lesnar. You're telling me this is the best opposition you can find for Braun Strowman? Again, you gotta be kidding me. He just did a bunch of running power slams to them and the segment was over. It was pretty much to pop the crowd. That's it. Alexa Bliss was on the stage here tonight, not defending her women's championship, oddly enough. That seems rare nowadays. She wishes everyone a Merry Blissmas. Bliss says she decided to take the coal out of everyone's stockings this year and give them the gift of a goddess. She knocks the WWE Universe for stuffing their faces with cookies and opening gifts this time of year, and says she prefers to reflect instead. Bliss talks about how 2017 has been the year of Bliss and how she dominated every obstacle in her way like a Jedi from Star Wars. Bliss knocks the fans and the other women in the locker room. Bliss says she has to admit that the moment of the year came last week when Raw Commissioner Stephanie McMahon announced the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match. We see a replay of the announcement. Bliss says she has watched that clip 100 times and she still gets goosebumps. She tells everyone else that they are welcome because everything that's happened is because of her. Bliss goes on and says she will be watching the Royal Rumble match to see who her opponent might be for WrestleMania 34. And that's when the lights go out and Asuka, I think she spoke her first words on Monday Night Raw here tonight. She came in, the Empress of Tomorrow came in, and Asuka announces that she will be entering the Women's Royal Rumble match. Asuka says she will win because nobody is ready for Asuka, and I think we can all agree with that one. Asuka says, Bliss looks scared as Asuka stares her down, and she drops Bliss with a kick out of nowhere to a huge pop, of course. We get a replay of the kick, and that is it. Asuka, and I said this on Behind the Mic this weekend, Asuka is the only person who should be winning that Royal Rumble. If Asuka does not win that Royal Rumble, there is no point to have even had or to even conceived a thought about that Royal Rumble. Anyways, they perceived Asuka perfectly in this segment. This is how Asuka should be portrayed on the microphone, especially. Doesn't say much and looks like a complete badass. Perfectly portrayed Asuka in this segment. And that led us into the main event match. It was the tag team match of The Bar versus Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins. And I was absolutely dumbfounded at the beginning of this, I'll be honest with you, by the decision to make Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan your new tag team champions. It was a good match. Jason Jordan hit, I believe, Cesaro with his finishing move. Of course, the back power slam into the neck breaker. You got that in new tag team champions. That's pretty much all I'm going to discuss. New tag team champions. Because honestly, by this point in the show, I just wanted the show to be over. But we did have new tag team champions. I don't know how many times I'm going to say tag team champions and new in conjunction with each other. But they are the new tag team champions. Just saying it to be an asshole at this point. But this decision was, at least I'm thinking it was made in order to get Dean Ambrose, give him wheels to say, fuck you, Rollins. And I didn't want to curse in this video, but that's the best way I can put it. Hopefully Dean Ambrose does return. Maybe it's at the Royal Rumble or on some big Monday Night Raw. He does return, screws Rollins out of some type of opportunity and just beats the crap out of him. And I think realistically it could be one of the best feuds of 2018 if WWE handles it correctly. With them doing this makes me believe that it was not a serious injury and that Ambrose will be back in time for maybe even the Royal Rumble, if not WrestleMania, and they can continue to do this. As far as how long Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins are going to hold those tag team titles, I don't know. The point was brought up earlier in the night. Why the hell would you bring Jason Jordan to Monday Night Raw? He got out of that tag team American Alpha, which was fantastic, and they weren't on Smackdown Live for weeks. They were underutilized on Smackdown Live for a lot of the time that they were there. Had a short stint with the tag team titles. It makes me wonder, why the hell did you take Jason Jordan out of the tag team just so he could come to Raw and win the tag team titles? I mean, that makes no type of sense. But Jason Jordan, for some goddamn reason, is a champion on Monday Night Raw, and there you go with that one. There you go with that one. I honestly do not know what to tell you. Don't know how long it's going to last. Probably going to result in Ambrose screwing Jordan and Rollins out of retaining the tag team titles from the Bar. What I'm hoping for at that point is that it's not the Bar challenging for the tag team titles as much as it is the Revival, or maybe even the Authors of Pain challenging for the tag team titles. Because at this point, and I think you guys can agree with me on this one, I am tired, sick and tired of seeing the same two teams. And don't tell me it's different because Jason Jordan's in the equation at this time. No, it's the same goddamn crap. I'm absolutely fed up of seeing the same two teams at the top of Monday Night Raw, bro. I really, really am. I have no interest in it. Hopefully this does lead to just being another reason for Ambrose to turn heel on top of all the seeds that have been planted, and we can move on with this. Because realistically, do you want to see Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins, this makeshift tag team, be tag team champions? Hell no. Hell no. I'd rather see the Revival be tag team champions. But it ain't a perfect world, ladies and gentlemen. That's what happened on Monday Night Raw here tonight. This show was garbage, and I'm just trying to get out of here as quickly as possible because it's goddamn Christmas. So for now, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you exactly that, a Merry Christmas. I want to tell you guys to make sure to go check out all the other content on the Ringside Wrestling channel. Raw reviews and Smackdown reviews each and every single week. Pay-per-view reviews, Behind the Mic as your weekend presentation, and the main podcast of this channel. And of course, top 10s in motion. So make sure to go check out all the other content. Make sure to subscribe. Don't know what you're waiting for to subscribe. Make sure to like, and of course, make sure to go answer the question of the day. And if you don't want to answer that, make sure to leave a separate comment as well. Last 10 videos in the description. For now, this has been Joel Perez, and I am out of here. Thank you very, very much for watching this video.